Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Saturday, December 5, 2020. Al Jazeera report. Here's all you need to know about Venezuela's legislative polls. Venezuela will hold parliamentary elections on Sunday to decide the makeup of the National Assembly, the only government branch controlled by opposition parties in the deeply divided South American country. Opposition leader and National Assembly Speaker Juan Guaido, Venezuela's self-proclaimed interim president and an opponent of President Nicolas Maduro, has announced a boycott of the vote. Guaido says the election is a fraudulent attempt to place the National Assembly into government hands, while the United States, European Union and the Organization of American States (OAS) have also said they fear the contest will not be free and fair.
Deutsche Welle report. Brexit, feasible, solution to deadlock eludes EU and UK after call. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen held last-ditch Brexit talks on Saturday, as pressure intensifies to finalise trade negotiations before the end of the transition period on December 31. While welcoming the progress made during the hour-long phone call, a joint statement acknowledged that significant differences remained with regards to the questions of achieving a level playing field, governance and fisheries.
CNN report. How California prisoners raised $30,000 for a high school student in need. It's hard to imagine two more different places than an elite private school and California's Soledad State Prison, which houses the state's largest concentration of men sentenced to life behind bars. But for the past 7 years, the two worlds have collided in an unusual way, through a book club. For more, watch CNN original series This Is Life with Lisa Ling, Sunday at 9 p.m. ET/PT. Palma School, a prep school for boys in Salinas, California, created a partnership with the Correctional Training Facility (CTF) at Soledad State Prison to form a reading group for inmates and high school students, bringing the two groups together to learn and develop greater understanding of one another.
BBC report. Mali's Malik Dio to head National Transition Council. Colonel Malik Dio was unanimously elected to lead the interim legislative body, the National Transition Council. This is supposed to play a crucial role in the transition to civilian rule within 18 months. One of the country's main opposition groups is boycotting the body. The opposition group, known as the June 5 Movement, organized massive street protests against the man who was ousted from power, Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta.
Deutsche Welle report. Italian police arrest two in defense data theft case. Police in Italy have arrested two people in connection with the hacking of Italian aerospace and electronics company Leonardo, the Interior Ministry announced on Saturday. The Leonardo Group also has a cybersecurity division that counts NATO among its customers and is involved in making electronic weapons and missiles. The hackers allegedly managed to steal sensitive data from the company's computers between 2015 and 2017.
Deutsche Welle report. Germany. Human chain against weapons exports outside Bundestag. Peace protesters gathered in Berlin's government district on Saturday as part of nationwide demonstrations calling for disarmament. Holding ribbons to aid social distancing, hundreds of people formed a human chain stretching from Chancellor Angela Merkel's office to the Bundestag, which houses the lower house of parliament. Berlin police said 350 people took part in the protest in the German capital, while organizers said 500 people were there.
CNN report. Warner Bros. Has changed the game on movie windows, but consumers will have the last word. The Warner Bros. Decision to make its 2021 movies available on streaming service HBO Max the same day they hit theaters comes after a long stretch that offered clarity on what studios want in terms of shrinking release windows, and what theaters want, or don't, to protect their business. Both sides are still guessing at what consumers want, a mood made even more difficult to read by the pandemic, and perhaps especially, how they'll feel once there's genuine light at the end of that tunnel.
CNN report. Anonymous Korean War veteran purchases hundreds of meals for local hunger relief effort. What started as an average Monday morning last month at a grocery store in Rayford, North Carolina, turned into something extraordinary when a 91-year-old Korean War veteran walked in and headed straight for the customer service counter. The man, who asked to remain anonymous, walked into a Food Lion store and wrote a $1,500 check for the store's Holidays Without Hunger program. He also wrote a $500 check for 100 pre-packaged meal boxes, also part of the program, which contain food for a family of 4 and are donated to local food banks.
Al Jazeera report. Old rivals square up again in Ghana's tight presidential election. Voters in Ghana will head to the polls on Monday to pick the country's next president, in what is expected to be a tight race between incumbent Nana Akufo-Addo and his predecessor, John Mahama. The two longtime rivals, who are squaring off for the third straight time as they seek a second and final term, are widely seen as the two frontrunners in a crowded field of 12 candidates. Campaigning has largely focused on the economy, infrastructure development and the handling of the COVID-19 pandemic.
BBC report. France police security bill. Protests turn violent again. Police fired tear gas after hooded protesters smashed shop windows and set several vehicles alight. Nearly 100 rallies were planned nationwide on Saturday over the law that would make it a criminal offense to publish pictures of police officers. Opponents say the bill undermines press freedom to document police brutality. On Friday, Mr. Macron acknowledged, there are police who are violent, and said, they need to be punished, in a live interview with Brut, a youth-focused news portal site.
Fox report. Popular British blogger disappears in French mountains, search underway. A popular British blogger may have gotten a ride from a stranger before disappearing in the French Pyrenees, sparking a search by rescue groups and authorities in 2 countries, according to reports. The reports say Esther Dingley, 37, was last heard from November 22 in the mountains in Lucene. She and her boyfriend write a widely read blog documenting their hiking adventures. The search involves French and Spanish police.
Fox report. Caliph. Father arrested after 2 children found decapitated in home. Police arrested a California man after discovering that 2 of his children had been decapitated in his home, according to the Los Angeles Times. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department took Maurice Taylor Sr., 34, into custody on Friday after firefighters responded to a call about a gas leak at his home and discovered the bodies with lacerations and stab wounds, the Times reported, citing a statement from the sheriff's office.
BBC report. Buddy the Elf joke baffles dad in first meeting with son. Doug Henning embraced his father Raoul for the first time in his life at Boston's Logan Airport last week. For the meeting, Mr. Henning wore a similar costume to that of Buddy, the elf played by actor Will Ferrell. Mr. Henning, 43, sang the same awkward song that Buddy sings in the film when he meets his biological father. I'm here, with my dad. And we never met, and he wants me to sing him a song. Mr. Henning sang excitedly, as he jumped up and down in the green and yellow outfit.
CNN report. Forget Bitcoin, these cryptocurrencies are surging even more. The dramatic rise in Bitcoin may seem overly speculative, yet Bitcoin has actually lagged the surges for some other cryptocurrencies. While Bitcoin has soared 15% in the past week to hit a new all-time high just under $20,000, Ethereum, the second largest crypto after Bitcoin, is up more than 20% in the past 7 days. Meanwhile, XRP, the third largest cryptocurrency, has surged nearly 25%. Litecoin, Polkadot, Cardano and Stellar, which are all among the top dozen biggest cryptocurrencies, have enjoyed larger gains than Bitcoin, too.
Al Jazeera report. Indian farmers vow to intensify protests after talks fail again. The Indian government and protesting farmers were unable to break their deadlock in talks, with the farmers saying on Saturday they will intensify their demonstrations against new agriculture laws and continue blocking key highways on the outskirts of the capital. Protest leaders rejected the government's offer to amend some contentious provisions of the new farm laws, which deregulate crop pricing, and stuck to the demand for total repeal.
Fox report. LAPD opposes further budget cuts that could result in crippling layoffs of cops. The Los Angeles Police Department says proposed budget cuts would result in crippling reductions in officers and services, threatening public safety. In a statement posted to Twitter, LAPD Chief Michelle Moore said the city's projected $600 million shortfall may force public safety cutbacks that would devastate the department. These envisioned staffing reductions would devastate our ability to provide basic public safety, Moore said.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.